At the beginning of the film, we see a family traveling through the desert in their car. The father is happily singing a song with his kids, creating a warm and peaceful moment. But that happiness does not last long. Suddenly, the mother turns off the music, saying the noise is giving her a headache. In an instant, the peaceful mood disappears, and tension begins to fill the car. Later, the family reaches their home, which looks old, dry, and worn down. As soon as they arrive, the little girl notices something horrifying. Her pet bird is badly injured, and a thick, dark black liquid is leaking from its body. The girl panics and desperately begs her mother to save the bird. But the mother realizes that there is no way to help it. So, instead of letting the poor creature suffer, she painfully decides to end its life. This disturbing incident makes the parents realize that something dark and supernatural is surrounding them. So, they tell the children to stay where they are, while they move away to investigate. The couple then enters their house, and after walking a few steps, we discover that they own a pyramid. Inside it, there is a hidden entrance leading to a secret passage where only a faint light guides their way. They go deeper and deeper into the passage until they finally reach an ancient sarcophagus. The couple looks at each other with uncertainty, wondering how they will know when the right moment has finally arrived. But without thinking too much, they begin moving the sarcophagus using old, rudimentary wheels. After struggling for a while, they carefully open it. Inside, they find a motionless mummy lying silently. The man becomes unsettled and nervously asks if it is awake. Suddenly, the figure seems to move, and at that exact moment, the light cuts out without warning, throwing the place into complete darkness. Terrified, they quickly rush to turn the light back on. When the light finally returns, the man repeats the same question. The woman says it is not awake, but in that very moment, the mummy violently comes back to life. It suddenly attacks the man, lifts him into the air, and brutally kills him. With this horrifying scene, the disturbing premise of the story is established. Sometime later, we are introduced to the Cannon family. The father, Charlie Cannon, works as a news anchor, but his daughter, Katie, avoids watching him on television and prefers to focus on her studies. Katie even bluntly points out that Charlie uses too many hand gestures while speaking. Curious about this, Charlie asks his wife, Larissa Cannon, if his gestures look annoying to viewers. Larissa honestly admits that they do and tells him that he should tone them down a little. At the same time, it is revealed that Larissa is pregnant, adding a new layer to the family's life. Later, the family is forced to step in when a fight breaks out between the children. Sebastian Cannon has thrown his sister's doll, and this immediately makes Katie angry. In the middle of the argument, Katie asks her parents the classic question. She wants to know which child they love more. Charlie tries to calm the situation by fixing the doll and giving it back to her, but Katie is still upset because she feels her brother never gets treated the same way. After this, Katie goes outside to play in the garden. The family lives in Cairo, where their normal everyday life slowly begins to mix with something dark and mysterious. While playing near a wooded area, Katie meets an unfamiliar woman. The woman calmly claims that she is a witch and tells Katie that she can show her a trick. Then, she says she is the mother of one of Katie's friends, a girl named Layla Khalil. Hearing Layla's name makes Katie trust her a little. At the same time, Charlie calls his wife, Larissa, and happily tells her that he got the news anchor position. It should have been a good moment for the family, but something dangerous is already happening in the background. Meanwhile, the strange woman gives Katie her favorite sweets. Katie accepts them without realizing the danger behind this kindness. Shortly after, Charlie finds a large amount of candy hidden inside the house closet, and all of it belongs to Katie. When he questions Sebastian about it, Sebastian explains that Katie's friend keeps bringing the sweets to her in the garden. This answer immediately makes Charlie uneasy. The family slowly realizes that someone has been getting close to Katie without them knowing. Then, we see the mysterious woman becoming even closer to Katie. She speaks with a strange softness, apologizes to her, and offers her an apple. While handing it over, she begins whispering words that Katie cannot understand. Suddenly, something horrifying happens. A beetle crawls out of the apple and slips into Katie's mouth. Katie starts choking, unable to breathe, as the woman's dark plan begins to unfold. After hearing what Sebastian said, Charlie quickly rushes outside to find his daughter. He remembers that Sebastian mentioned Katie meeting someone in the garden, but when Charlie reaches the garden, Katie is gone. Instead, he finds a hole in the wall, and panic takes over him completely. Desperate, Charlie starts searching everywhere for his daughter. After a while, he sees the mysterious woman in the distance, carrying Katie in her arms. Charlie runs after them with all his strength, trying to catch up before it is too late. But the crowded surroundings, the traffic, and the chaos around him make it almost impossible to move forward. Then, a powerful sandstorm suddenly breaks out. The woman disappears from his sight, and Charlie is left completely disoriented, helpless, and overwhelmed with despair. Later, at the police station, several officers approach Detective Dalia Zaki. Since the case involves foreigners, they ask her if she speaks English. The officers explain that several people have already disappeared, and nearly 190 young people have been found dead. They warn Detective Dalia Zaki that this case will require strong emotional resilience because she may have to face many disturbing scenes. After accepting the challenge, they take her to Katie's parents. Her job is to translate every word clearly and accurately between the officers and the family. During the interrogation, Katie's parents are broken and distressed. The officer in charge asks them when they last saw their daughter. Charlie says the last time he was with Katie was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then, with visible desperation, he explains that the person who took her had been offering her candy to gain her trust. But the officer does not fully believe his story. Instead of treating it as an abduction, he becomes suspicious of the family itself. He orders an investigation into Katie's own family, suggesting that they may somehow be responsible. Because of this, the authorities refuse to give them immediate support, making the parents feel even more helpless and devastated. The story then jumps 8 years into the future, taking us to New Mexico. Charlie is now driving through the city streets while looking at old photos of Katie, still holding on to the memories of his missing daughter. Meanwhile, Larissa continues to think about Katie every night. Even after all these years, she has never truly healed from the pain of losing her child. At home, their younger daughter, Maud, who is now 8 years old, asks her mother if she can use the computer to print something. Later, during dinner, the family gathers around the table. Sebastian Cannon, now a teenager, asks his parents for permission to travel to Europe because he wants to explore the world. But his mother immediately refuses. The fear of losing another child takes over her completely, and she cannot even imagine letting him go far away. This moment clearly shows how Katie's disappearance still controls the family's life. The tragedy from the past continues to affect every decision, every conversation, and every relationship inside their home. The scene shifts to the eastern desert of Egypt. There, a young man is riding his bicycle across the dry terrain until he suddenly stops to fix the chain. At that moment, a small plane suddenly falls from the sky and crashes nearby. Shocked by what he has just seen, the young man decides to approach the crash site. As he enters a nearby wooded area, he discovers the wreckage of the aircraft. Inside, he finds the pilot dead and the co-pilot trapped among the branches of a tree. Terrified by the sight, he panics and runs away. But while escaping, he accidentally stumbles upon the ancient sarcophagus of the mummy. Later, a group of researchers carefully examines the sarcophagus. They study its structure, analyze its composition, and begin searching for clues about where it came from. The researchers decide to open the sarcophagus, and inside, they discover the mummy, carefully wrapped in bandages and covered with ancient inscriptions. They begin removing the layers cautiously, making sure to document every detail with photographs. But suddenly, the mummy awakens and releases a horrifying scream, instantly breaking the silent atmosphere and filling the place with terror. On the other side, the Cannon family is in their car, heading out for pizza, trying to enjoy a rare, peaceful evening together. But that peace is suddenly shattered when Charlie receives an unexpected phone call. The call is from the U.S. Embassy counselor in Cairo, and the news he delivers leaves the entire family frozen. Katie has been found alive. Hearing this, the family is thrown into complete disbelief. After years of pain, unanswered questions, and hopeless waiting, they finally receive the news they never thought they would hear. Without wasting a second, they decide to travel immediately to Cairo. Hope takes over them, along with the desperate need to finally see Katie again after so many years of uncertainty. But when they arrive, the doctor warns them to prepare themselves emotionally before seeing her. He explains that Katie is suffering from severe skin trauma and is trapped in a catatonic state. According to him, in this condition, she may behave strangely, make unusual sounds, and develop involuntary tics. Her stress levels are also extremely high, so they must handle her with great care. The doctor urges them to avoid sudden movements and loud noises, which is why Katie is being kept sedated. After hearing these instructions, her parents finally enter the room. They slowly approach her and speak in a soft voice, telling her that they are her parents and that she is safe now. The doctor also explains that the visible scratches on Katie's body were self-inflicted, making the situation even more heartbreaking for the family. Later, the doctor tells them that taking Katie back home may be the best way to help her come out of the trance-like state she is trapped in. The Cannons are deeply shaken by everything they have seen. They step outside, trying to process the shock of finding their daughter alive, but in such a terrifying condition. Shortly after, the authorities show them photographs of the sarcophagus where Katie was found. They explain that she was being transported inside it when the small plane crashed. They also reveal that this kind of method is often used as a secret form of human trafficking, adding an even darker and more disturbing layer to the case. Meanwhile, back at home, the grandmother prepares a cake because the family plans to celebrate Katie's 17th birthday. Even though everyone is excited about her return, the atmosphere is not completely happy. There is tension, fear, and uncertainty surrounding the house. When Katie finally arrives, the family comes out to greet her with mixed emotions. They are happy to see her alive, but also frightened by what she has become. Sebastian, her brother, is visibly shaken as he sees Katie again after all these years. The sister he lost has finally returned, but something about her feels deeply different. Little Maud slowly approaches Katie to welcome her back. With innocent honesty, she tells Katie that she is now almost the same age Katie was when she got kidnapped. Meanwhile, the grandmother begins praying with deep faith, hoping to protect the family from whatever darkness has followed Katie home. But as soon as the prayer ends, Katie suddenly stands up and violently headbutts her grandmother. Everyone is shocked, and before they can understand what is happening, Katie's body begins twisting in a disturbing way, as if something inside her has taken control. The family immediately panics. After a frightening struggle, they finally manage to restrain Katie and give her a sedative to calm her down. That same night, Maud goes looking for her brother Sebastian. She quietly confesses that she is afraid of Katie because the sister who returned home does not feel normal. At the same time, Charlie carefully studies the photographs taken from the sarcophagus, hoping to find some clue that can explain what happened to his daughter. Meanwhile, Larissa sits beside Katie with tenderness. She begins talking to her about the life she had before she disappeared, showing her childhood pictures and trying to remind her who she used to be. Larissa speaks softly, hoping that somewhere inside Katie, her daughter is still listening. She wants Katie to remember her family, her childhood, and how deeply she was loved. Suddenly, Maud and Sebastian begin hearing strange noises from different parts of the house. Alarmed, Charlie goes upstairs to investigate, but when he reaches Katie's room, he discovers that she is no longer in her bed. He quickly wakes Larissa, and both of them begin searching the house with growing fear. Meanwhile, Maud and Sebastian stay in their room, terrified. They claim that they saw something moving inside the wall. When Larissa comes closer to check, she is met with a disturbing sight. Katie is hiding in the darkness, eating something strange. The family chases after her, and to their horror, they realize that Katie is consuming insects. Sebastian and Maud rush out to see what is happening. Maud freezes in fear, while Sebastian watches his parents trying to pull a cockroach out of Katie's mouth. The sight is so disgusting and terrifying that Katie's body immediately reacts. She begins vomiting uncontrollably, making the family even more disturbed by what she has become. The next day, Charlie takes Maud and Sebastian to school. During the drive, a pack of coyotes suddenly blocks their path, creating an uneasy feeling, almost like a warning of something terrible to come. After a tense moment, they finally manage to move forward. But before getting out of the car, Sebastian asks his father what really happened to Katie. Charlie has no clear answer. All he can do is repeat what the doctor told them, even though deep down, he knows something about Katie's condition feels far more terrifying. Back at home, Larissa and the grandmother carefully clean Katie with a mixture of tenderness and concern. They trim her nails and gently comb her hair, trying to restore a small sense of normalcy. Meanwhile, after dropping the children at school, Charlie begins preparing Katie's room. He wants to make sure she cannot escape again, because the family is slowly realizing that bringing her home may have awakened something dangerous. During this process, Charlie discovers a disturbing bloodstain hidden under the carpet. Seeing it only deepens his unease, because it feels like another sign that something terrible is happening inside their home. At the same time, Larissa continues trimming Katie's nails. But suddenly, something unsettling happens. A part of Katie's skin begins to peel off, shocking Larissa and causing Katie to suddenly run away. Charlie hears the noise and rushes to investigate. When he finds Katie again, she is in another alarming state, eating insects as if it is completely normal. Determined to understand what is happening to his daughter, Charlie follows her cautiously. But what he sees next is even more disturbing. Katie appears to be trying to tear off her own foot, as if she feels no pain, or as if something else is controlling her body. The family manages to stop her just in time. Once Katie is sedated again, Charlie suggests that they should temporarily move her to a specialized medical center where doctors can properly handle her condition. But Larissa firmly refuses. She says their daughter has already been gone for too many years, and now that Katie has finally returned, she is not ready to lose her from the house again. The tension between Charlie and Larissa quickly grows. Overwhelmed by guilt, Charlie admits that he feels responsible for everything because he was there on the day Katie was kidnapped, yet he never suspected anything about the mysterious friend she used to meet in the garden. Larissa is deeply hurt by his confession. Instead of continuing the argument, she reacts with anger and walks away to see Katie. Standing in front of her daughter, Larissa desperately tries to connect with her. She begs Katie to say even one word, hoping to hear some sign that her daughter is still inside. But Katie responds aggressively by spitting at her. This painful moment shows how emotionally distant Katie has become and how severe her condition really is. Later, Charlie finds pieces of skin that appear to have peeled off Katie's body. Curious and disturbed, he examines them closely and notices something strange. There are inscriptions on the skin, almost like fragments of an ancient text. Charlie cannot understand what they mean, but he begins organizing the pieces carefully. He compares them with the photographs of the sarcophagus, searching for any pattern or hidden clue that might help him decode the message. At the same time, a professor who specializes in ancient history is giving a lecture about mummies. Charlie approaches the professor and shows him what he has discovered. He asks if the symbols could have any known origin. The professor explains that the writing appears to be a very ancient form of Egyptian script, possibly thousands of years older than the time of Christ. Hearing this, Charlie becomes even more convinced that there is something far deeper behind Katie's condition. So, he asks the professor for help translating the mysterious symbols. Back at home, while the family is taking care of Katie, something unexpected happens. Katie suddenly tries to communicate using Morse code. Charlie quickly becomes alert. He grabs his notebook and begins writing down every signal, trying not to miss even a single detail. Then, he goes through Katie's belongings, searching for anything that might help him understand the message. There, he finds her passport, along with notes connected to Morse code. When Charlie finally deciphers the signals, he gets one clear name: Layla. Without wasting any time, Charlie calls Detective Dahlia and tells her about the discovery. Dahlia asks if he has any other clues connected to that name, possibly letters or items that mention Layla. Hearing this, Charlie opens an old chest filled with letters and urgently begins searching through them. Meanwhile, inside the house, Maud goes to the bathroom. But as she leaves, she suddenly hears a voice singing with an unsettling sweetness. Curious and confused, Maud follows the sound until she reaches Katie's room. There, she makes a shocking discovery. Katie can speak. Katie secretly asks Maud not to tell their mother anything. She says she wants to practice speaking with Maud first, because Maud is her favorite person in the family. At first, Maud listens quietly, but Katie's tone slowly becomes disturbing, and she begins asking strange questions, including unsettling things about the taste of Maud's fingers. Terrified, Maud tries to run away, but before she can escape, an invisible force suddenly stops her. Within seconds, Maud is lifted into the air, as if something unseen has taken control of her body. At the same time, Charlie is in the basement, and he notices the lights flickering. But he does not go upstairs immediately because he has just found a letter with the name Layla Khalil written on it. Meanwhile, Detective Dahlia continues investigating new leads. She discovers the possible existence of an isolated farm in the desert, which may be connected to Katie's disappearance. To confirm her suspicion, Dahlia begins analyzing the available photographs, searching for any matching details or hidden connections. At the same time, the professor tells Charlie that the fragments he found are not part of a simple ancient text. They belong to something much older and darker. The name connected to the symbols is Nazmaranian. According to legend, Nazmaranian was a malevolent force that moved through the shadows between the world of the living and the world of the dead. It was known as the Destroyer of Families, a dark presence that could whisper through noise itself. It would plant suspicion where love once existed, slowly turning people against each other. Because of this, entire families and even communities were torn apart from within. In ancient times, Nazmaranian was considered a kind of demon, but long before the time of Christ, all traces of it disappeared completely. Only rumors, broken records, and forgotten fragments of its story were left behind, as if the world itself wanted to erase its name. The professor then explains that the fragments contain certain phrases that can either hasten the demon or release it. In other words, these markings are not just random symbols. They are ancient instructions, written for a very specific and dangerous purpose. Meanwhile, at school, Maud suddenly insults her teacher for no clear reason. At the same time, back at home, Katie laughs to herself, as if she can see everything happening around her with a disturbing calmness that does not match her condition. Detective Dahlia then travels into the desert to investigate the farm. She enters the abandoned place and carefully studies every corner, moving through sand-covered remains and old structures until she reaches a pyramid. It is the same pyramid from the beginning of the story. Dahlia approaches it and discovers a chain leading downward beneath the surface. Following it, she realizes that this is the place where the sarcophagus was once hidden. At the same time, the mysterious woman from the beginning arrives at the farm, moving with clear purpose, as if she knows exactly what she is looking for. Dahlia continues deeper inside until she finds the space where the sarcophagus had been kept. But the place frightens her, so she quickly steps outside to call for backup. In that moment, the mysterious woman suddenly appears and tries to attack her. But Dahlia reacts first and shoots her. Just then, the woman's daughter arrives and runs away into the desert. Dahlia immediately chases her through the dust, but the girl suddenly stops and begins digging something out of the sand in a panic. Dahlia then realizes that this girl is Layla Khalil. When Layla opens the buried box, Dahlia finds a tape inside with Katie's name written on it. Meanwhile, Charlie is driving back with his children in the car. But Maud keeps insulting everyone non-stop, becoming more aggressive and uncontrollable with every passing moment. At the same time, the grandmother continues praying beside Katie, hoping her faith can protect the family. But Katie violently pushes her away and cruelly tells her that she is going to die. Then Katie attacks her until the grandmother collapses. The grandmother falls onto the road just as the cannons are passing by. The family sees her in horror, but before they can save her, coyotes surround her and devour her. Everyone is devastated by what they have witnessed, except Maud, who only laughs, as if she cannot understand the horror of what just happened. Later, Dahlia plays the tape and watches the recording. In the video, Layla's mother speaks coldly and says that an innocent child is better because the body lasts longer. This horrifying statement reveals how everything began. After watching the recording, Dahlia goes to speak with Layla and asks her what is happening in the tape. But Layla cannot speak because her own mother cut out her tongue. This makes the truth even more disturbing. Layla explains that she once tried to reveal everything, but her mother punished her for it. She then insists that Katie should never have been taken out of the box. According to Layla, her siblings were supposed to move the sarcophagus, but they never should have done it. Unable to speak clearly, Layla asks for a sheet of paper. Then she begins writing everything down, hoping to reveal the full truth behind Katie's horrifying condition. Dahlia decides that she must go and see Charlie immediately, because the truth she has discovered cannot be hidden anymore. Meanwhile, the Cannon family is mourning the death of the grandmother. The house is filled with grief, fear, and confusion, while everyone struggles to understand how their lives have fallen into such darkness. During this tense moment, Maud spits out her food, and Larissa finally tells Charlie that she no longer wants Katie inside the house. After everything that has happened, her fear has become stronger than her hope. At the same time, Sebastian is watching over Katie. She speaks to him softly and asks him not to leave. Then, with an unsettling calmness, she says that she misses being part of the family. Her words sound emotional, but there is something manipulative behind them. Sebastian becomes disturbed and walks away to listen to music, trying to escape the tension. But even through the music, Katie's voice seems to reach him. She asks if he remembers the day he broke her doll. Then she cruelly says that moment gave her the idea to test whether the grandmother could fly. This confirms that the darkness inside Katie is not only watching the family, but also using their past against them. Later, during the funeral, Maud distracts everyone. In that moment, Katie suddenly falls into the grandmother's coffin. Then, in a horrifying act, she begins sucking at the grandmother's neck, completely out of control. After the funeral, the family prepares to leave, but Detective Dahlia arrives. She has come to show them what really happened to Katie, and to warn them that everything is escalating much faster than they imagined. Dahlia reveals that dark signs have already appeared. The time has come to expose the family secret connected to the mummy ritual. According to the ritual, the firstborn child must perform it in order to protect the family from Nazmaranian. A video is then shown, left behind for future generations. In it, the ritual is explained step by step, from a drained body to a newly prepared host. The message says that an innocent child is better because the body lasts longer. But if needed, any living human can be used. In the recording, they begin the ritual by replacing Katie's body with the mummy's body. They bring the mummy closer and start chanting the ancient incantation. Then Katie absorbs the mummy in a terrifying process that is almost impossible to understand. Meanwhile, in the present, Katie begins controlling Sebastian's mind. She tells him to help her undress, and he obeys without resistance, as if his own will has been taken away. Under her control, Sebastian starts removing the bandages from Katie's body. The video also shows that Katie was wrapped in bandages during the ritual, just like the mummy. Dahlia explains that whatever was placed inside Katie should have stayed underground, bound and buried forever. It was never meant to be awakened. Charlie is left completely shocked by the truth, while Larissa, unable to stay away from her daughter, goes to see Katie. Charlie then reacts in shock when he sees the grandmother, who has somehow come back to life, possessed. She slowly approaches him in a disturbing way, leaving him completely stunned and terrified. Her behavior becomes even more unsettling when she asks him for an intimate moment. Charlie panics and immediately runs away, choosing to go and find Katie instead. But Katie has completely lost control. The moment Charlie reaches her, she attacks him violently. She bites her father and starts hitting him again and again, as if the darkness inside her has fully taken over. At the same time, Larissa is forced to confront Sebastian, who is also under Katie's influence. Her own son is no longer acting like himself, and she realizes she must stop him before he hurts someone. Meanwhile, the reanimated grandmother attacks Dahlia. She forces a scorpion into Dahlia's mouth, making Dahlia struggle desperately to survive. With great effort, Dahlia manages to pull the scorpion out. At the same time, Larissa tricks Sebastian and injects him with a sedative, finally stopping him from causing more damage. Charlie then helps Dahlia, who is badly injured. After removing the scorpion, Dahlia tells him to remember the incantation because she can speak Arabic and knows how to complete the ritual. But the scorpion has left a hole in her throat, so she has to hold the wound just to speak. Despite the pain, Dahlia gathers her strength and recites the incantation loudly and clearly. Just as they complete the ritual, Larissa arrives and witnesses everything. In the end, Charlie makes the ultimate sacrifice to save his family. The demon Nazmaranian went into Charlie's body. After this, Katie finally speaks again. When she asks about her father, Charlie is placed inside the chest they had kept at home. Katie is still able to communicate with him through Morse code. She sends Larissa a message, telling her that their father said he loves them. Later, Larissa watches her children playing happily, as if the family has finally found peace. But that peace does not last. She contacts Dahlia and says she needs to speak with her about Charlie. It is then revealed that Layla's mother is still alive and hospitalized. Larissa goes to her and injects her with a sedative, preparing her for what comes next. Dahlia arrives with Charlie's possessed body and tells Larissa that she surely remembers the next step. Together, they prepare to perform the ritual again. This time, they plan to replace Layla's mother's body to trap Nazmaranian, hoping to bring him Charlie to life. And with that, the story ends in a disturbing way. The nightmare is not truly over. The cycle has only begun again, proving that some curses can never really be closed.